Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. Right, the video today is on this 2014 Jeep Cherokee. I think it's a 2 liter or 2.4 liter diesel. I'm not sure which engine is on this. You might have seen the previous video on this car, which is right there. If I remember, I might leave a link in the description below. The car came here with an issue where the car would start but would not shut down. That was a quite quick fix, to be honest, and was driving absolutely fine after that. A couple of weeks ago, the guy sent me a picture with a warning message on the dash, which I've just moved the car from where it was somewhere there. I moved it to here, and then in the meantime that Fiat was dropped as well. That's a different story, obviously nothing to do with this. Anyway, as I moved the car, I've seen the warning, so I'm going to show you exactly what the warning is and see what we can do with it. So what we're going to do, we're going to walk inside. I already have the maxi seats here from finishing the Astra, the gearbox problem. Right, so let me see if I can show you the issue with this. So let's gonna start it, and you're gonna be able to see in this middle screen a message. Should come up with 4-wheel drive unavailable. There we go. Service required. And then I think you can also see right there in that corner, I believe that is SVC 422D, means service 4-wheel drive. So that's what it's coming up with. So no 4-wheel drive, and that message in there. So what we're going to do now quickly is, as you can imagine, is plug in the maxi seats, see if there's anything that points us into any direction. Okay, so here we have our main menu. So let's gonna go to control unit, powertrain. Right, surely is that in the transmission? Nah, it can't be. Usually there is a separate module just for the wheel drive, for the 4-wheel drive systems. Okay, maybe chassis perhaps. No. Body, really? Power transfer, hold on, because we have here drivetrain control unit, drivetrain control module. Ah, there it is. So transfer case clutch over temperature, PTU component system over temperature. So these two are pass, and then we have an active code, C1472, transfer case clutch control, performance or incorrect operation. Okay, and I've seen something back there for PTU. I think I've seen power, was power transfer unit, yeah. Yep. It's probably going to be the same faults for the over temperature, maybe. Will appear in the subnetwork gateway module. Okay. Let's not touch this for now. So gateway module. Is that the body control module, the gateway for this? Okay. Okay, forget about that. Okay, so it looks like maybe the gateway for this system is actually this module here. So that's probably what it means. So the PTU is probably controlled from here. So we have this code there then. We're gonna have to go. So this is the code. I don't know why we got an over temperature fault. Something maybe happened and now we got this fault. Right, I'm not sure what to do. Right, let me go through some live data, try to do some research on here and see if there's anything here that point into any direction. So about a week later, as you can see, we are already doing something. I haven't really done anything other than raise the car, but what I've done in the meantime, guys, which is not on camera, but I will explain you, because it was pointless for me to be just showing you those recordings. So what I've done then, guys, is I've cleared the codes on this thing, and I've been driving around the village, just around the village, for about an hour in total. There is a few secondary roads where you can reach about 70 miles per hour or so, but not for long periods of time. So I drove around, been with this thing where I took the overfinch. I don't know if you remember that video. To the exact same place where there is, where I can put the car pretty much tilted with two wheels in the air pretty much. So the four-wheel drive system really needs to act up. Really steep places. Everything worked fine. The four-wheel drive system is working. Fault then came back. So at this point, I've rung the guy and I've asked him, and he knew something that he never told me. Don't know why he thought it was a smart move not to tell me, but anyway, he told me now. So I explained to him what I've done. Look, I said, look, the car is driving fine, blah, 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 blah. And he said, oh yeah, but that only happens if you drive the car on the motorway for more than half an hour. Unfortunately, it's low on fuel. We'll have to sort that out. But when he told me that, with the help of Mr. Google, I found that this is actually a common issue. So some of you already probably know, as soon as you've seen the fault in the PTU. This is a very, very common issue on these cars. Apparently it's not a matter of they're going to fail. If they're going to fail, it's a matter of when they're going to fail. So, did a little bit of search, and apparently what tends to happen is that, or one of the faults that tend to happen, and the most common from the looks of it, is fluid from the PTU finds its way into the electronics and into the electric motor that activates the PTU system. So this car is primarily front-wheel drive, and then the PTU, which lives somewhere in there at the back of the engine, is completely automatic, and it changed from two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive on the go. And apparently what happens is when that motor starts to get filled with oil, it's a brush motor, so it's not brushless, it's a motor with brush. So when the oil starts to get into it, the motor starts to fail. It looks like also the fluid gets into the electronics, and that's what causes the over temperature on it, by the looks of it. From my understanding, that's what happens. And yes, I found on forums, etc., many occasions where people says it only happens when you go on the motorway. So I didn't manage to replicate the fault, but the fault was there. So as you guys have seen, so I spoke with the owner, and he still has the grass from when I got the car on those places to test the four-wheel drive. Anyway, I spoke with the owner. I explained to him, look, this is a common issue, blah, blah, blah. I explained everything to him. And basically, guys, this is what we're going to do. So at the time of recording, so today is the 23rd of October, 2023. But at the time of recording now, on eBay, there is one PTU unit for sale, used in the UK. That's it. There's only one. I explained to him the dangers of getting a used one, because, well, we know already. and it is at a cost of £8,000 or £995, something along those lines. So that's a lot of money for a used and non-condition PTU. Rang Jeep wants £4,128 plus VAT, so £6,000 on an exchange basis. So it's £6,000, 6 weeks lean time, waiting time for the new PTU, and this PTU would have to go back. Both are too expensive for the guy. He said, no, I don't want to do it. And then he said, look, I know you, I'm sure you can fix it. Why don't you take it out and try, have a go with it? And I said, yeah, but I can't guarantee I'm going to be able to fix it. First, I don't know what's wrong with it. Second, even if I find something wrong with it, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get any parts for it. The guy's adamant, said, go for it. So I gave him a rough quote, how much I want to remove the PTU and put it back, plus the repair. And the guy just said, yeah, go for it. Take it off, have a go at it. If you can't fix it, he is well aware that if I can't fix it, he just goes back in the exact same way, and that's it. So that's what we're going to do. But hopefully, once we have that out, we will be able to find the issue and we will be able to fix it. So from now onwards, I'm not going to record anything of the removal. I can probably just take you through some bits and bobs, but there's a lot of stuff that needs to come out to take the PTU out from the exhaust. Needs to come out, the drive shaft or the prop shaft to the rear differential needs to slide out of the way from what I've seen, and there's some other stuff that needs to come out. Looks like the subframe doesn't need to come off, which is good, but that doesn't really make it any easier. So that's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to try to see if I can take this PTU out and see if I find anything wrong with it. That's the main thing, and see if we can fix this. Okay, guys, we are doing some progress, and I just thought I will quickly take you through how far we got. So far I got the drive shaft out. To remove the drive shaft, guys, rather simple. 6 bolts at the back where the drive shaft holds into the differential. Take those bolts. There's 4 bolts here holding this heat shield and the 2 support bearings for the prop shaft. So you take those 4 bolts, 2 on this side, 2 on that side, and then you come here, you put sorry guys, you put something here, right there. So this is already out, but you put something there. I put this pry bar like this. This is going to be here at the front on this spindle. You put it here, you tap it here a couple times. As soon as it starts to move, you can just pull it out by hand, and as you can see, it's already removed. So there it is. And now I'm guessing we are going to move into the next step, which is so this drive shaft goes into this into the gearbox here by the looks of it. Yeah, I don't know if this is I believe this is the front differential here, and then the PTU is here, is this unit here, and the drive shaft on this side goes straight into it. So we're gonna have to take this drive shaft off. I've already kind of started by taking this nut, try to take this wishbone out so I can pull this and pull the drive shaft. Okay, a little bit more done. So a pain in the ass to remove this ball joint from here, but this into this the wishbone, but it's out, and drive shaft is pulled out. So once I could pull these away, you just need to wedge something in between. Let me show you. You just need to wedge something in between the drive shaft and the housing here, and you pry it out, and that will slide out, and is resting right there at the top. Now it looks like we have 2 bolts here for this bracket, one at the top. There is a couple bolts around here. There's one there. There's one at the top. And that should be... Is there any support here at the front? I'm not sure. Let me have a look. Is there anything here? No, it doesn't look like. Doesn't look like. It looks like it's just bolted into the gearbox itself. Sorry about that, guys. I pressed the stop button. Yeah, it looks like it's just bolted into the gearbox itself, or into the differential, front differential, and on this bracket here. And there is a electric plug somewhere there at the top. The module is right there at the top. As you can see, that black cover there, that's the module. And then that should come out. Hopefully it will come off without removing the subframe. I unbolted the exhaust. I'm gonna have to take this middle support so I can swivel a little bit to that side, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Okay, so I think I'm ready to pull the PTU out. So what I've decided to do is remove the bracket from the PTU itself. The bracket comes obviously here, as I said, goes here and at the top, and then you have 5 bolts here around, which you can take before. Take the bracket is another thing out of the way when I'm about to pull these out. I think I got all the bolts out. I think I'm ready now to pry something there and pull these out of the differential. Obviously, in case it's going to drip some oil, which I'm sure it will. So that's about it, really. Ready to try to pull these out. And here it is, the thing out. You definitely need to take that bracket off before you remove this, and I also had to remove the counterweight, which is there, okay, which it bolts somewhere. I think it's here. It bolts here. No, it's not here. It bolts. Where does it bolt? It bolts here. I think it's there that it bolts. You definitely need to take the counterweight, and as soon as you take that, it is a bit of a pain in the ass to maneuver around, but you need to swivel it around. You'll find your own way. You need to swivel around and take it off. Don't forget this breather, and don't forget to take the plug before you actually remove this, because otherwise you're going to struggle. So you just need to put a screwdriver while this is in place back here. You can maneuver your hand around here at the back, and you can pull the plug out and drop it down. Now we're going to take it to the bench and see what we learn. Okay, and here it is. The PTU, power transfer unit. One quick thing before I forgot. There's actually 3 bolts at the top. I could only see one from underneath. But then if you actually poke a little bit over the subframe, you can actually see these 2 at the back. So, and yeah, that's it. So now we're going to take this module out. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. And we'll see what we have in there. This is the part number, because if you guys are interested at all, from the original one. Okay, so let's gonna see what's in there. Another thing that I'm going to take the opportunity to do, most likely, is change the oil on this while we have these out. I think is a no-brainer, changing the fluid. I think this is the filler. I don't know where the actually drain is. Where do you drain the oil on this thing? I don't see where to drain it, but surely we will find a way. Okay, and I think it's time to try to pull these out. Okay. Oh, the smell is... Oh, It's like if something is dead inside of this thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, so this is a one-speed system. There's some of these that they have 2 speeds, and all this does, guys, is literally all this does is engaging the rear. Yeah, that's it. So it goes there. There we go. I'm pretty sure that the only thing this does is engaging the gear assembly by swivel. So all it does, let me see if I can show you this. So I'm running the rear, so when this goes that way, you release that and it doesn't turn anymore. I'm not sure which way it goes, but I'm guessing it's going to go this way. Maybe. I don't know. Not sure. Yeah, this smells really bad. I tried to see if there's how much oil we have on this, if there's any. Ooh. How much oil is supposed to be here? This is pretty much dry. Okay. Okay, and this is definitely a problem. So it looks like, don't know if you can see this burned area here. And can you see that? All worn out. Can you see it? So it looks like the motor has pulled this into a certain position, either too far, and that's been rubbing against. So this is like in this position now. Let me try to figure this out, how this actually works. So I remove this in this position. So this is here. Gonna have to smooth these out a little bit. So in this position, everything is engaged. The way it is engaged. Which means the next position is going to be pulled that way to disengage. So at the moment, the rear wheel drive was engaged, and it shouldn't really be because I was just driving around. Should actually be in a two-wheel drive mode, I think. Because when I go home, I just go home from the road. I don't see the reason why you should be engaged four-wheel drive. So this should have moved this way. Looks like this has been when was tried to go that way there. Okay. Let me double check this. Yeah, 100% engaged. Right, let's gonna dismantle this and look inside of this little module system assembly. Try to figure out what might be wrong with this. Okay, and this should open somewhere here. Let's see if I don't mess anything up. Okay, so this one was actually pretty dry, to be fair with you. Or it's just me? See if this motor actually works. That's going to be the magnet that's going to run. The magnet is going to run. It's going to run here, and there must be some sort of sensor inside. Okay. See if I can take this motor off here and give it a good test. How the hell does this come off? Yeah, these prongs are okay, but the good news is no oil got inside of this, so this was actually in good shape. Only thing left is test this motor, make sure it runs okay. Okay, it runs alright. So I'm not really understanding why. Ouch. Ouch. I burned my finger. Damn it. I was just to see if the motor was powerful enough. It is indeed. Okay, so what to make out of this? Something happened here, definitely, to burn this fork, as you can see in there, right here. There's bits of metal here as well, because it's been definitely rubbing here somehow. And now, not really sure. Not really sure. See if there's any damage to this ring. Alright, let me see if I figure anything out of this, and I guess I will catch up later. Okay, I don't know if this is good. So I took the feeler from there, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to see on camera. I hope you do. There is bits of metal in there, look. Not just this gun, there is actually bits of metal. Let me see if I show you this. There you go. See that? And there is bits of metal on this magnetic thingy, so it's not looking very good. So what we're gonna do, I know what we're gonna do. Hold on a second. And here you have it. So actually, on further investigation, so the bearing racer in there is actually very good. It's not pitted, it's very smooth. These bearings, they look okay to me, nothing really wrong. I can't see anything like heating marks or wear marks anywhere, so I'm not really sure where that those swarfs would have come from. There is, however, one place I think they came from, which was from here. So they must have come out from here, get through the oil, and they got captured on that magnet on the cap, on the oil cap or filler, and on this magnet here as well. We're going to pull this one out just to see what we have here as well. It's probably semi-attached here as well, by the looks of it. Take it like that. We are obviously cleaning all of this. The oil obviously is a little bit brownish. Smells really bad. Mrs. is not happy at the moment, but it is what it is. And yeah, all the other racers are good. This racer is good. So the way the oil gets to this area here is through this opening here, and there's another opening there. So as everything rotates, the oil circulates around. We're gonna drain this, give it a cleaning, and go from there really. But at the moment, can't really. This is good here as well. The bearings looks okay. Okay, and I'm done for today. I've run out brake cleaner, so I can't carry on cleaning anything. But I was looking at this now. More and more, I'm struggling to understand exactly what might have happened, because when you look at this ring, this sort of synchronization and coupling ring, I don't know what they call it, you can see the chamfers are on this side, because this is the side when it tries to engage on the next gear. So as you can see there, you can see on the left hand side here, this is the side that got burned and overheated. I don't know if you can see, don't know if the camera captures this, the discoloration here on the edge. Can you see the discoloration, the brownish here on the edge compared with that side? Okay, so you can definitely see that's where it's been rubbing against. So this goes like that, but for him to be burned on this side, that means was making pressure this way, which is when was trying to disengage the system, because as you can see the chamfers are there. So when he's in this position is when he's engaged, and when he moves this way is when disengaged. And to be burned there, that means we're trying to disengage the thingy. Why would it get stuck? I don't know. Plus it's only burned down here, the top of the fork. There is a little bit of wear, but it's wear on both sides, as you can imagine, over the years. Obviously there's some odd marks, but it's not, you can see the wear, but it's not dented or anything. Here definitely it is. So I'm not sure what happened, how the ring got like sort of tilted and it starts wearing there. I'm not 100% sure, and I'm not 100% sure what we're going to make out of this. Shall I just get the oil, clean everything, put it back on, and hope for the best? I don't know. I need to see what other parts are available for this. I don't know, maybe this whole mechanism is available because of that burn. I'm not 100% sure. Could be that the magnet fails, but the magnet is in place. You can see there, this magnetic here, this little thing here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. That's magnetic. You can't see, but this is a magnet, and this runs here, and that's what tells the module the position this is on. There is a second magnet in there that I believe is just to show the rotation, not 100% sure. I think it's to show the rotation there, that when this is rotating, that magnetic in there. There's another one there. This actually comes off if I do it like this. Okay, there's another magnetic here. Sorry guys, there's a magnetic here. I believe this is what shows the rotation of the whole thing, and then don't know if it turns, if it counts the turns or something like that, and then this slides here, that one, and it tells the position of the fork. So yeah, I'm not really sure what we're going to do out of this, but for today that's it. As I said, I have no more brake cleaner. I need to get some more tomorrow and get the oil for this as well. I don't even know which oil I need to get. I'm not 100% sure which oil this takes, nor the quantity, to be fair with you. Don't know if you need to fill it all the way up to the cap, or I'm not 100% sure. That's going to be something that we're going to have to figure out later. But that's it. I'm not sure if this is going to fix anything, but don't go anywhere and I will take you through the rest. Okay, let's gonna try to record this again and try to do this in one clip because I didn't like the way I was doing this. Anyway, so this is the following day. I've done a little bit of work, and the first thing I would like to mention is that if you remember that tray that's there, was here with all the oil. So this morning I've cleaned everything, as you can see. So this has been cleaned, that's been cleaned, and that was using what's left here. So I went to get some more brake cleaner this morning, filled it up, and this is what's missing. And when I went to dispose of that, I put it on a 1 liter container, and I got 900 millimeters out, and that's with what's missing from that bottle. I do understand that we've lost something, or some of the lubricant of the oil into the papers, etc. But I might start to think that the oil was a little bit low on this thing. Maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't like it because this thing is supposed to get, or is supposed to take 0.75. So 750, so 0.75 liters, which is 750 milliliters. I got 900 out, and that was already with that when I disposed that. But yeah, so maybe the oil was a little bit low. Another thing is I've already got this sorted. So this here at the top, because it's been rubbing against that, was literally sharp as a knife. So I chamfered these here on the top, as you can see, a little bit of a chamfer at a kind of a 45 degree, and then I smoothed down this. You can still see there's a little bit dent here, but I'm not going to go any further with this. But I smoothed everything down, and I spoke with the owner one more time in the morning, this morning, explained to him. I've sent him the pictures of this, and he's still happy for me to just put everything back on and hope for the best. I'm not really happy with this job, because ideally, guys, I know in America you can get hold of this unit, so this bit with the fork, in one piece. In the UK, I can't. I rang Jeep again this morning to see if they would sell me just this. Nope, they only sell everything as a one unit, £6,000, as I already said back in the video. This is the price for the new PTU, or reconditioned PTU, because I need to give the old one back, so I'm guessing it's a remanufactured PTU. They don't sell me just these. I know you can get these bits in America. Actually, you can get everything from the O-rings, from everything separately. The only thing I could get here from eBay that I found was the motor. But as you have seen, guys, the motor is good. I was hoping that was my issue. Was that the seal over here, this seal would have failed and would have allowed oil to get into the motor. As you can see, that's not the case. Something else happened here. Don't know if it was because, again, if it was because it was low on oil and it started to wear these here. Strange though that only the wear was only here and not on these two parts here. But could have been that, or it could have been something else. Again, I've gave all the options to the owner. Spoke with him this morning again after sending him the pictures. We went over this again. And yes, he's happy for me to just put all of these back on and hope for the best. I have oil, brand new oil, 75W90, which is the oil for this thing, recommended by Jeep. So we're going to put new oil. Obviously, we're going to have to leave all these gaskets, rubber seals, everything's going to be the same because I can't get hold of them. But we're going to assemble everything, and then we're going to go for a drive. So I'm not going to take you through the assembling of this. It's just literally, there's only one way you can assemble this. There's no like if you can swap things around or anything like that. Everything just goes in one position. And then we're going to put it back on the car. And I guess the next time I'm going to see you is going to be when we are ready to go for a test drive. And this time, yes, I'm going to take the car on the motorway because I want to drive on the motorway. As I was told, that's when the problem was happening. But again, it could have been that there was that this was low on oil, and the oil was not getting all the way up through there and into the sleeve, into this sleeve, etc. But yeah, so yeah, we're gonna assemble everything and hope for the best. And that's it, guys. Again, I'm not really happy the way I'm doing this because I'm not really fixing anything. It's not like if I found, yes, this motor is bad, let's gonna put a new one, that will fix the problem. Open this thing. To open the module itself, you have to, it's all plastic welded here. I would have to take this cover off. I have no reason to believe that this is faulty because as you have seen when we on the car had no fault codes after I cleared the, well, you haven't seen it because I think I haven't recorded that. But after I cleared the codes, I drove the car around here, no problems at all. The car drove absolutely fine with no faults whatsoever. So I'm not 100% sure what the heck's going on with this. It could be that this module is faulty and is not seeing the two-wheel drive position when he moves back. As I said, it was on the two-wheel drive. It was on the two-wheel drive? Can't remember now. This goes there. I think I said already that this was on a two-wheel drive position, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was actually on the four-wheel drive position. And that was what it was showing me on the car anyway, on the tool. But we're going to go, now that we know exactly how everything works, we're going to go through the live data, etc. when everything is in position. That's it, guys. I think I'm still publishing this video because I think there's some information here that can help someone. And that's it. So let's go and assemble this and fingers crossed. Right, guys, it's completely off topic, nothing to do with putting this back together. But I just thought I would just explain you this because I'm really fascinated with this technique of welding things. So if you see this part here, I've actually noticed this yesterday, and I just thought now on my mention this. So can you see this? So this part here was initially separate from this part, and as you can see, there's a welding mark here. Can you see this area here in the middle? This is a technique used to weld parts called friction weld, and I've always been fascinated with how it's not how it's done, but how it's possible to. You can have friction weld on plastic parts. You can easily see when a part plastic has been friction weld. Is a technique used in many ways. Some are used with vibration to weld plastic. A lot of them is actually vibration. But this is actually done on a I think you pronounce it lathe, on a lathe. It's one of these machines, and the way they weld this is they put one on the vise on the where that spins, and the other part is stationary. And then what they do is one is spinning completely centered, obviously aligned, both parts aligned. One is spinning at high speed, the other one is stationary, and they start to push the one that's spinning, or vice versa. They start to compress to push one against the other, and as they start to push it, obviously the metal is the friction is gonna eat. It's gonna start to melt the material in those two contact points, and it's just push, and then and very quickly the part that is spinning, it stops. And when it stops, obviously the metal is completely fused together. When it stops, it just welds everything, and this is why it's called a friction weld right here. This is a primary example of a friction weld. I'm really fascinated with this technique. I've always been, and I just thought I'd mention that it was a friction weld used in these two parts here. Yeah, completely off topic. Let's kind of carry on putting this together. Okay guys, and just before we assemble these parts, I just thought it would be wise to give it a test. Oh Jesus! Right, so I think you can guess what we're gonna do here. So this thing can work completely independent of being on the actually PTU unit, because there's nothing there that interferes with this. So this can work just here plugged in, as you can see. And because this is just the one speed, so it only has one fork. There's a version of this that has two forks, which is a 2-speed PTU unit or transfer case. This is just the one speed, so you only engage or disengage. So which means only goes from 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive high. The 2-wheel, the 2-speed one can also go to 4-wheel drive low speed. Then you have the neutral in there, which is between these two. This one doesn't have the neutral because it only has engaged or disengaged, which means 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. So if I come here, so the moment this is on the 2-wheel drive, I already moved it. So if I press 2 high, F2, just look at the thing in there. There we go. It moved back to the 4-wheel drive, which is 4 high. Now I'm going to move it back to the 2-wheel drive, which is F1. And it goes to there. And now I'm going to go back to that one. Back to 2-wheel, 4-wheel, 2-wheel, 4-wheel, and it's working absolutely perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it on the 4-wheel drive because he actually went to the 2-wheel drive now when I came out of the system. Well, this is it doesn't really matter this for now. Let me just go on to live data quickly before we do this. So PTU motor, 2-wheel drive, which is fine. RWD system, 2-wheel drive. So everything is the way it should be now. Okay, so if you remember, so I'm going to come out of this now. If you remember when we initially removed this was all the way further back, which is the 4-wheel drive position. So it should be on the 2-wheel drive, because as I said, when I drove home, I was not coming from any, it should be on the 2-wheel drive. Right, so now, yes, we tested it, it's working. So now let's gonna put it all back together. And I think the magnet sensor is going to be working okay, otherwise it won't stop when it gets to the 2-wheel drive. We'll just carry on going further down, would it? So yeah, that should be okay. So let's now assemble this and see if it works. Okay, so I could just share a picture here, but there's really no point. If you are really keen into this, you can go online and you're going to find the workshop manual for this, and you will know exactly which torques you need to use on each single bolt. The manual says to use new bolts on here. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to use the old bolts. But the torque on this is 10 Newton meters, and this is the shift actuator into the PTU unit. So we're going to do 10 Newton meters on each, and that should do the job. I'm going to do corner to corner. That's it. Now let's gonna go to the next step. Okay guys, and for you guys that might be wondering why I'm not filling this up to the filler hole, which is how you should do when this is in place. You should fill it through that level plug, and you fill it until the oil comes out. I'm not doing it that way because according to the manual, you should fill this with 700 milliliters of oil, or 0.7 liters. I'm going to put a tiny bit more, but that's how much oil this takes. 75 W90, as I already said. So we're going to do this and then put the other half of the PTU and close it. And the next torque setting you might want to know is this one here, which is joining the two halves of the PTU. Newton meters is 55 Newton meters. So that's how much you need to give to hold these two parts together. Again, 55 Newton meters. Okay. There we go, 55. And now all we need to do is work our way around. Okay guys, and one last torque that you might want to know is the PTU here, the PTU to the transaxle, or to the gearbox, whatever you want to call it, is 48 Newton meters. And from here is just literally assemble everything back on, which I'm not going to take you through. So we're going to do that, and then I guess I'll catch you when everything's on the floor, I'm guessing. Okay, all back together, ready to go for a test drive. I don't think I'm going to go for a test drive today, to be fair with you. It's getting a little bit late now. It's about 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and I still need to do a couple of things inside the house for the missus. Make the missus happy. So I think I'll go tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'm going to test drive this and see what happens. Okay, following day, we're going to go for a road test with this. I'm planning to drive for about an hour, most of it motorway speeds. I'm actually planning to go on the motorway and just drive there for a good 35 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever. And then do a little bit of more off-road. Just make sure everything is working okay. If it is working okay, as I said, if it's not fixed, it's not fixed. That's what the owner decided to do. But I'm quite confident, to be honest with you, that we might have fixed the problem with the oil change, etc., etc. As you've seen, the actuator was moving back and forwards just fine. So yeah, let's give it a go. Let's start this up, warm it up, plug in the MAC-DCs, look at some live data, make sure everything is shifting okay, and that's it. So I'll catch you in a second. Okay, only driving for about 10 minutes so far. As you can see, it's not warmed yet, but one thing I've noticed straight away is that this, at least where I was driving from home to this petrol station, I can see this, it changed once to 4-wheel drive. I think the live data here, maybe the description is wrong, because when this changed to 4 high, the PTU motor position here shows me 4 low, but that's actually kind of impossible because there is no 4 low on this car. There's only 1 speed PTU, so which I believe is the 4 high, not the 4 low. But it might just be a wrong live data here. He's showing me wrong, but it shows that when one thing moves, everything else moves. So it looks like he's doing what it's supposed to be doing. I'm also looking at the temperature of the PTU as well, just to see how it is, and we're going to carry on driving. As I said, I'm going to get into the motorway now and drive a little bit and see how it goes. Okay, and as you can see, we are going in automatic. I have everything on automatic. As you can see, as I was now leaving these services, the thing just went to 2-wheel drive. And I was under the impression this is how it should be when you are doing motorway, but unfortunately, let's gonna see how long it stays in 2-wheel drive. Alright, come on, camera, just stay still. Let me stop at these traffic lights, and I'm going to try to put the camera so you can actually see what's going on. There we go. It's a 2-wheel drive. So I'm coming on the roundabout. And the reason why I think this should be two-wheel drive when you are like on the motorway is because obviously if you have the entire system running, if you have the entire four-wheel drive system running, it's going to take more power. It's going to take, when it's not needed at high speeds, that's probably not a good thing, isn't it? Maybe I'm wrong, but okay, so two-wheel drive, there we go. I can feel, as soon as I get to about 55 miles an hour, it changed to four-wheel drive, and I can definitely feel everything changing, because the engine, you can feel the stress, not the stress, you can feel the power required to have all the four-wheel drives, all the four wheels pulling, because you can feel that on the engine, you can feel the car, the tone changes, everything changes on the car. I just don't understand why he does that on the motorway. Four-wheel drive on the motorway makes no sense whatsoever to me, but that's why he does. Maybe that's what's supposed to do, I'm not sure. So let's gonna carry on driving and see what happens. Okay, so I drove now for about, what's the time? 13:54. So just for over an hour I've been driving, and I left the motorway about 15 minutes ago, maybe. So I drove in total for about 40-45 minutes on the motorway. No problems at all, drove absolutely fine. Again, I don't understand why he goes four-wheel drive when you are on the motorway. That makes no sense whatsoever to me, but hey, I came here now where I sometimes test these four-wheel drive systems and suspensions and etc. So I came here, so I don't know if you can actually see how on a tilt the car is. So that wheel is actually in the air, as you can see, and the other one over there, the car is pretty much tilting, is just on that wheel and the opposite. I was trying to get the car up this sort of hill here, this grass, and the four-wheel drive system is just, if I could just carry on going, it would go no problem. The way this four-wheel drive system works, from what I can gather, is the ABS system brakes the wheel that loses traction, which will automatically put the traction on the opposite wheel, and it does that front and back when obviously the PTU engages the four-wheel drive, which is engaged. Again, I don't understand why the car goes on four-wheel drive on the motorway. That makes no sense whatsoever to me, but it is what he's doing. If you guys know if there's something else that is wrong here, please let me know. But as for this repair, that's all I can do for now. As I explained to you, the owner didn't want to spend. I would have just, I don't know, guys. I don't know what I would have done, but the guy doesn't want to spend the money, so that's what it is. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to drive back home and see if he drives okay with no issues up to there. And I guess that's it for this video, really. So there's no point for me to be here trying the four-wheel drive anymore. So let's gonna go home and hopefully wrap up the video. So drove back home. I do apologize a little bit for the glare. It's not very good right now, but right, I'm not 100% convinced that we fixed the problem. Even if we did, maybe temporarily. And I'm going to highlight again the fact that I don't think I removed enough oil from that PTU. So, and I don't know, I don't know if you've seen, there's a little bit of oil in between the PTU and the gearbox, if you will. So I don't know where that's coming from. If it was from there, might be that this is, I haven't seen it leaking anywhere, but it could be that when he's running he's slowly leaking, maybe, I don't know. If I could get the parts for this, I would have changed 100% all the seals. I would have dismantled all the shafts and I would get the oil seals or the seals replaced. Ideally you would have replaced as well the fork, because that wear at the top now is not going to move the sleeve 100% straight, because it's worn a little bit there and on the actually sleeve as well, so everything's going to move a little bit. So ideally you'd get that sleeve as well. Yeah, it's a shame that you can't really get the parts here in the UK that easy. and the guy was not willing even to spend any money, so he just wanted to. Oh well, it is what it is. I still gonna leave this video because I think it shows you the internals of the PTU. It shows you everything about how to take it off. So for you guys that have access to parts for this, might be a good thing for you to go through. And that's it. Again, I don't know if it's fixed or not. So far so good. It didn't come with any warnings, as you can see. Everything is clear. So I don't know, guys. Might be fixed, might not be fixed. I'm not 100% sure. But for now, it is what it is. So hope you learned something, guys. Hope this video somehow can help you. And hope there's some information here it can be useful. If you do still have any questions or any comments, guys, you know how it works. Just put them below. And like always, thanks for watching.